In 2007, a 17-year-old boy walked into the Camp Nou dressing room. The veterans looked at him. Ronaldinho smiled. Thierry Henry nodded. And Lionel Messi said nothing. Because he knew. This kid had just broken his record. The record nobody was supposed to break. But here's what nobody tells you. Breaking Messi's record was the worst thing that ever happened to him. To understand what happened to Bojan Krkić, you have to go back to a place called La Masia. It's the Barcelona Youth Academy. And if you've ever heard the word talent factory, La Masia is the original. Xavi came from here. Iniesta came from here. And of course, Messi came from here. In La Masia, records mean everything. They are the language of potential. They tell you who the future belongs to. For years, one record stood above all others. It belonged to a small Argentine boy who had arrived in Spain as a child, Lionel Messi. Most goals scored in La Masia history. Nobody touched it. Nobody even got close. Until Bojan Krkić. Bojan was born in 1990 in a small town in Spain. His father was a Croatian footballer, his mother, Spanish. Football was in his blood from the very first breath. By 15, the scouts were already calling him special. By 16, Barcelona's coaching staff were saying something they had never said about anyone except Messi. This boy is different. And then he did it. He broke the record. More goals than any player in La Masia history. More than Xavi. More than Iniesta. More than Messi. The Spanish press went insane. Front pages, magazine covers. The new Messi, the heir to the throne. Spain's golden boy. He was 17 in September 2007. Frank Rijkaard put him in the starting 11 for Barcelona's first team. Bojan Krkić became the youngest player in the club's 108-year history to score in La Liga. He was younger than Messi had been. He was younger than anyone had ever been. And the world fell in love. But there's a weight that comes with the words, the next Messi. A weight that most people never have to carry. And Bojan was about to feel every single kilogram of it. Imagine being 17 years old, and every time you touch the ball, 80,000 people are watching. Every time you miss a chance, the headline the next morning reads, "Is Bojan already failing?" The comparisons never stopped. He scored, they said. Messi would have scored too. He assisted, they said. Messi would have done it better. He played well, they said, but he's no Messi. And slowly, quietly, something inside Bojan began to break. He didn't talk about it publicly, not yet. In football, you don't talk about how you feel. You run, you train, you perform. That's the deal. Barcelona loaned him to Roma in 2011. A fresh start, a new city, new people. And then it happened. In the middle of a match, Bojan stopped. His heart rate exploded. The world around him blurred. He couldn't breathe, couldn't think, couldn't move. A panic attack. Full, paralyzing, terrifying. On a football pitch, in front of thousands of people. He was 22 years old. After Roma, nothing was ever quite the same. He went back to Barcelona. They didn't keep him. AC Milan came, he lasted one season. Ajax tried. Then Stoke City in England. Then Montreal in Canada. Then Alaves. Then Japan. With every transfer, the destination got quieter. The headlines got smaller. The comparisons to Messi stopped. Not because he'd proven himself, but because people simply forgot to compare anymore. And that might be the cruelest thing of all. Not the fall, the silence after it. The boy who once broke Messi's records was now playing in front of half-empty stadiums in leagues most Spanish fans had never heard of. In interviews, he was polite, calm, professional. He smiled and said he was enjoying his football. But in 2019, he finally told the truth. I've spent years suffering from anxiety. There were days when I couldn't get out of bed. Days when I looked at a football and felt nothing but fear. People thought I was just underperforming. They didn't know I was fighting something they couldn't see. And here's the thing that makes Bojan's story different from every other fallen talent story you've ever heard. Most footballers disappear because of injuries, or wrong clubs, or bad luck. Bojan disappeared because his mind gave out before his body ever did. His legs were fine, his technique was perfect, his talent. Bojan Krkić retired from football in 2022. He was 31 years old. He didn't retire with Champions League medals. He didn't retire with a Golden Boot or a Ballon d'Or. He retired quietly, the way a man does when he's made peace with something that once destroyed him. Today, he speaks openly about mental health in football. He's become one of the loudest voices calling on clubs to do more, to see their players as human beings, not just assets. He said something recently that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. "I'm glad I played football, but I'm more glad that I survived it." The record he set in La Masia? It still stands. Nobody has broken it, not even Messi again. If Bojan's story hit you differently, it's supposed to, because this isn't just a football story. This is a story about what happens when the world decides who you are before you've had the chance to figure it out yourself. If you want more stories like this, the ones football doesn't put on its highlight reels, subscribe. There are more coming. Stories that don't end with trophies. Stories that end with the truth. I'll see you in the next one.